What's going on, everybody? The last video I posted about the SCX10 trans, I've gotten a lot of feedback and a lot of good information. That transmission and all the portals and everything came together assembled. That was not a kit that we got. We got the display slash, oh my god, that's tight, demo model. We didn't get the kit. So when I took it all apart, I just assumed everything was in its correct spot. But the information that I'm getting is that the clicking noise is actually coming from one of the pins on one of the gears. So before I get the SCX10 back here, I'm going to take apart the Capra and see if I can figure out what exactly they're talking about. Okay, so I kind of see what people are talking about. Let's take a look at the portal portal gears. So this is the portal gear out of the Capra. Alright, so you see how this pin sits in here? Sorry, it's a little messed up. So you see how that pin sits in there? You take that out, there's a round edge in here, and I'm going to take a picture of this later. So this pin is actually sitting in the round edge, so I'm good with this one. On this other side there's a square edge, but it's crammed full of utter butter, so we're going to see if I have another portal in here that isn't in the correct slot. I'm going to put a picture of these things in here right now. You know, I decided instead of a picture I'm going to do video. So you see how that's square? You can see that is square. Let's flip it around. See how that's round? Got a nice round edge in there. When you go to put this pin in here, in this round edge here, you get a nice form-fitting fit. No slop, right? You can see how that fits in there nice and tight. Come on, get out of there. Alright, so here's the square hole. That kind of bounces around inside there versus the round one that sits in there nice and quietly. Round hole, round peg. Round peg, not square hole. So, like I was saying earlier, I did not assemble the X3, but I did put together the Capra here. And either blind luck or just kind of mechanics intuition, I was able to put all of these except for the one trans gear in here the correct way. And then when I ripped it apart to grease it up like I did in the first video, I must have put it back together the correct way. Well, I'm not really noticing that there was a difference between the way it was and the way I put it back together. With the X3 I put it back together exactly the same because I hadn't put it together, so I wasn't familiar with it at all. And I didn't want to take the chance of messing anything up. So far everything's good. I'm just going back to double check. Plus I gotta get pictures of this gear for the video until the X3 gets here. So hopefully that explanation helps. I didn't come across this information, or I didn't figure out this information myself. People sent me it. I've asked around because, to be honest, you know, I probably would have found it myself eventually because it would have annoyed me that much just listening to it, but I just didn't have that kind of patience to sit there and dissect everything. So thank you to everybody who pointed it out to me in the comments section, and everybody else that I asked around is greatly appreciated, saving me some time. So I'm sharing this information with you. Hopefully it'll help you save some time as well. I mean, we all have a lot of time right now, but I don't have that much time to spare. I'm still essential, so I get to go to work every day still, which is awesome. Be exposed to the Rona. Anyway, I'm going to go get ready to... I've already checked the trans in this. I'm actually going to take this apart and I'm going to show you the Capra gear that you need to look at before I get the SCX10 back here. I have not been in the RC hobby for very long. 2 years, to be exact, is when I got my first ECX Ruckus. Well, that was my first RC car. And I don't know, I really enjoy it. I have a lot of fun working on these things. As a motorcycle technician slash bike builder for many years, and sometimes things are just not in a manual, and I always rely on experience from others that have been doing it much longer than I have. So I appreciate the information that other people have given me. You know, I've only been into crawling for the last few months, both of us actually, basically over this last winter, I guess you could say. I rely a lot on the information and experience of others to keep our stuff running well. No manual will ever replace the experience and knowledge of others. That being said, some of the people I get my crawling information from would be Alan over at Scale Trail Performance, 11 Charlie RC at Operation 11 Charlie RC. I'm going to leave links for you guys in the description below for their channels. You know, for other bashing stuff and everything, you go to Tony over at CCxRC or Rich at Driftomaniacs. If I have any drifting questions, I go to Troy over at Roadside RC. I'm going to leave links for these guys all below. Should really check them out if you don't know them already. You know, all the channels that I just mentioned, you know, I talk to kind of directly. Some of them more than others. All really good guys. Definitely suggest you check them all out. But all these channels have helped us out tremendously, and I'd like to give them all a shout out. Because like I said, we have not been in this hobby for very long. Being a mechanic, you know, I'm fairly mechanically inclined. I'll eventually figure stuff out, but I don't really like to waste my time trying to figure things out if I don't have to. And when I come across something that I don't find information on, I definitely post it. Like the X-Max clicking noise, I have a video for that. It's that center diff coupler strips out, but anyway, that's a video for you to go follow if you want. So yeah, I asked these guys if they had any information or knew anything about this clicking sound, and they did, as well as a bunch of people in my comment section. So everybody that commented about this in the first video, thank you very much for the input. Like I said, I was a motorcycle tech and custom bike builder for many years. These are very easy to work on compared to a lot of the stuff I am used to. But I don't pretend to know everything or pretend that I don't make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. But you never really lose if you learn from those mistakes. Because when you make those mistakes, that's when you learn how not to make those mistakes. Especially if you don't have all the information. The manual does not really say anything about this. It's literally just a bunch of pictures. Like even with the drive shafts, I don't know if you saw my Capra project video, but it just basically tells you that these are the exact same part. It tells you that nothing about the length difference. So when you go to put it on there, you kind of got to guess which way do I got to put it on. And it took me 3 tries before I got it the right way. And I still don't know if it's the correct way, but it works. So, well, I'm going to run with it and leave it at that. Onto the transmission, and I'll show you exactly what gear you need to look at for that. So if you already have it assembled, the good part is you don't really have to take a whole lot apart to get to it. This is your dig function on the Capra. And then here's the gear that you have to look at, is this one right here. Well, let's see, focus. Alright, so you see where the pin is? You got the same dealio here. This gear that goes onto that pin has got a square side and a round side. Now, why this gear they decided to put 2 different sides on there, I have no idea. So when I originally put this one together, I had the round side facing the wrong way, and then when I took it all back apart to look at it and stuff it full of udder butter, apparently I put it back in the right way. So, live and learn. Like I said, I just want to pass this information on to people. Other people have discovered it, other people have videos about it, but I think the more people that have information out there about it, the better. The less people will make this mistake. And I'm all about learning and spreading knowledge. So let me get this back together, and then hopefully I'll get the SCX10 over here soon.
Rolls back over on its own with this body, or it just stays. But like like you said with the power waggy body.
Break it in proper.
Yep.
Why does the fan gotta kick on right now?
To the wheels. I didn't kick it, so I don't know why it kicked on.
Alright, we got the SCX10 here.
It's a 10.3. It's an RTR 10.3. There's no way. Lies, lies.
So this came pre-assembled except for the electronics.
This was actually the demo car to an RC shop.
So when I ripped everything apart, I put it back together the way it came. When I packed it full of grease, the noise went away, but then it came back.
Still made creaky noise?
So we're going to go through and check all the portal gears and the trans gears.
All the portals?
He's going to put his standby Forerunner body on there.
Where's the,
I don't like change!
where's the other, wheel thingy? Nut. This thing.
This one?
Yeah. You don't want to lose... You don't want to lose these because they're hot racing, and you know hot racing's got to be special with the wheel extenders.
So we're going to rip this sucker apart, and we'll keep you posted onto what the hell we find. Okay, so the two rear ones were installed correctly. So far, the first front one was incorrect.
But that wouldn't matter because nobody's buying RTRs. But
they should have put it together the right way.
True.
Yeah, that was not put in there the right way. Definitely incorrect. So one clicking source found, 3 more to go. Alright, so we found one in the front. In the front, that was wrong. Which means there's a 25% chance that if you get RTR, it's wrong somewhere. According to our numbers and figures. On to the trans. We're going to tap into the trans and see if it's straight. Alright, so once you get all that stuff apart, you pop this housing off. You've got a pin back here, maybe. So you got a pin right there that connects to this gear here, and then you've got this gear here that has a pin right underneath it there. That's where you need to check for the round versus the square hole. Alright, so this gear here was correct. This gear here that goes into this pin was incorrect. So there were 2 gears out of what? 6. I'm not sure what those odds are, but it should be a much quieter SCX10 now.